I'm probably gonna get a lot of hate for this. So I'm making this video because I think it needs to be said. I've done a lot of reflecting, and I think that what I have to say can be really valuable to people who are in education or people who are getting ready to go into education. Welcome back to my channel. I'm Rachel from the Behavior Check-In, and I am a special education behavior teacher in Florida. I'm actually going to be a behavior psych coach this year, so I will be helping teachers and students with all things emotional regulation and behavior. So in this video, I'm probably going to get a lot of hate for this, but I wanted to talk about something that I think needs to be said, something I need to say, even if this doesn't mean anything to the masses and it means something to me. So I'm recording this probably for me, but it's why I'm not leaving education and why I don't think that people who are thinking of getting an education should quit. So this may be very controversial. I know right now we hear a lot about teachers leaving the profession, and I think they have every right to do so. Like, I'm not discrediting what they're going through. To be honest, I thought about it this year too. I really did. This has been a tough few years for educators, and my year was tough for a lot of things that were education and not education related. And so I know their pain. I know why they left, and I applaud them for being vocal about it because people need to see the injustices and inequalities that are in education, both for students and teachers. I think that there needs to be a voice to it. But I am not leaving. I am not one of those teachers who are quitting. I am deciding to give it another year, and here are my reasons why. So I'm going to get a little political here. If you don't like it, then you can click out of the video. Don't need to leave me any hate. This is my opinion. You are entitled to your own. But I just want to give a full disclaimer. But I wanted to also be fully transparent because I want to tell you why. So I believe there are people who want to dismantle public education for so many various reasons that I'm not going to get into, but I'm sure you can figure out why. And if all the teachers quit, then they win. They can dismantle public ed. They can replace teachers with whoever they want walking off the streets. And that's not what's best for kids. I was a student in the public education system. I was a student with an IEP in the public education system. My kids are both students in the public education system. I believe in the public education system. And I feel like I wouldn't be sitting before you as a teacher with a master's degree if I had not been a successful product of the public education school system. So I don't want to see it dismantled. I don't want to see it privatized. I feel like when you go into privatization of education, they can teach kids whatever they want to teach them. And I don't think that's the point of education anyway. I don't think it's to stuff information into kids' heads at all. I mean, obviously when you're in elementary school, you have the foundations, you have the reading, the writing, the arithmetic. But as they move up into their grade levels, education becomes less about learning the basics and more about how to problem solve, how to think critically, solve problems, and analyze it in the real world. And that's what these kids need. They need teachers who can push them to do so, and you need to study education to be able to do that. I don't think that anybody off the street who's like, I have a bachelor's degree and I don't know basket weaving can walk in there and be like, I'm going to teach you science. That's not how it works. Like, they need someone who understands the actual methodologies of teaching and learning sciences and how people learn and how they develop and how to teach kids in a way to teach them to think critically. It is an art, it's a science. If anybody could do it, I wouldn't have needed all the certifications and all the tests that you want me to pass, and I wouldn't need the bachelor's degree and the master's degree because anybody can do it, right? So I don't want to see that happen. My children are still school aged. One of my children has an IEP, and I know for a fact that private education will not serve my child, and they won't legally have to serve my child. And that scares me. And that scares me for all the other kids. Now, if that were to happen, I'm a teacher. We have a whole family full of people with advanced degrees, lawyers, teachers, stockbrokers, all of these things in my family that could sit down and help my child. Because we're blessed, we're privileged, but not everybody has that. And a lot of the students that I've worked with don't have that. And as a special education teacher, I don't want to leave because those kids need us. They need us there. They need us to fight for them. They need teachers who are trained in how to work with students who learn differently. And just Joe Blow off the street from the 7-Eleven who's going to come in and teach the kid does not know that. They do not understand federal law. They do not understand what our children need to be successful. Being a special education teacher is not something like I went to school for and now I know. It's a continual learning process over time, and we need those veteran teachers to stay to not only help our students but to help our new teachers who are coming in, because they're going to need our support more than ever. And although I could leave because I'm unhappy about how some things are going, and I could pull my kids out and I could teach my kids, I feel like I'm not doing society a favor. Now, with that being said, I have put in place several parameters of how I'm changing things for the school year. And this is my advice to anybody who's coming into education or anybody who's wavering on wanting to leave. I came to a crossroads on should I stay or should I go? And cue the clash. Hopefully someone got that. I don't know. But I thought about quitting. I think a big influence on me quitting is I'd seen a lot of teachers on social media wanting to quit. And at first it was kind of validating to see that they were going through the same struggles I was going through. But the more I watched, the more like I kind of felt like I should quit too. And I'm, like I said, not taking away from how they feel. And if they need to quit for them and their personal reasons, by all means, do what you need to do. But I felt like I needed to give education a little bit more time before I threw in the towel. And because I wanted to be there for my kids and I wanted to be part of the change. So I felt like the best way to change is to not do the things that they're used to educators doing. Working contract hours, like only working contract hours. I'm not coming in any earlier. I'm not staying any later. If I'm staying later, then you better be comping me or paying me. And I think all teachers need to do that. Period. I'm not taking anything home. It gets done or it doesn't. Now, I know I can hear it already. I haven't even posted or edited this video, but I can hear it already. Well, what about that? Well, then fine. If you have legal paperwork that they're requiring you to do, then legal paperwork is going to get done during school hours. You're going to have to be advocates for yourself. Like, I went in, not at the school district because I did have time to get everything done this year. I had a smaller caseload, but last year I had a very large caseload. And I walked into my admin's office and I advocated for myself. And I said, you know, I have a lot going on with online learning and with kids in the classroom and my own children and their needs. And I'm feeling very overwhelmed with this workload and I need time to do my paperwork. And guess what? They gave it to me. You know, there's a lot of power in asking, and a lot of times we're afraid to ask. And I will tell you that if you ask for things and you get the poo, then maybe it is time to leave your particular school. And state that's the reason why. I think we need to put up the good fight before we just walk out. Like, ask. Now, I know that there's some people who have left. I've seen the videos and they've asked and they've done all the things. But I think some of us who are coming in, like, some of the teachers who are newer and they're coming in, they don't know this. And so this is more my advice to the new teachers is before you throw in the towel, make sure that you've asked first and be very honest. Be very honest with your time. Be like, I need a sub or weekends to be us. Make sure that we're taking care of ourselves. We're getting enough sleep. We're eating. We're not self-medicating with food and alcohol and wine and all of those things that we're spending our weekends for us and for our family. Those are the things I think that I know I'm doing to put into place for next year. And there were things I started doing at the end of the school year last year when I was feeling really burnt out. You need to sit down and find out what's the main thing that I need to do every day. And sometimes your best is just getting stuff done. You don't have to do room transformations. once a week or every other day or whatever. I usually keep them to once a unit. And if I have the energy to do more elaborate projects as we move along, then I do them. But if I don't beat myself up over it. I don't. I just do what I got to do. And sometimes that's what we can do. And I think a lot of teachers feel like we need to be perfect, and you don't need to be perfect. You just need to come in and do what you need to do. I'm not pushing for mediocrity. Obviously, if you have the energy to go above and beyond and it doesn't bother you and it makes you happy, then by all means, go ahead, do it. You go. But if you don't feel less than. Really, seriously, do not feel less than. Because your best is what you got at the moment. And I promise you, if you listen to your body and you take those times and you take that rest when you need it, that you will get more of those surges of energy to do those fun things. But if you push yourself through, we like to be the power through the grind group, you're not going to be happy. You're going to get burned out. You're going to get overwhelmed. You don't need to grade all the things. Just get your required grades in for the semester. Sometimes it's like 8 or 9. Just get it done. You don't have to tell the kids that, but you don't have to grade everything. And, try to like look into things that self-grade. I know we used formative and Go Formative in my previous school district, Google, using Google Sheets, using Google Forms, a lot of self-grading stuff to like make your life a little bit easier. I would highly recommend that. I don't think you need to kill yourself, and there is no shame in that. And mainly, I'm staying in education because I believe that it's the right thing to do, and I believe that the kids need us, and I believe that it is where I want to be, and it is what I want to do. Is it how I want to do it right now? No. Has it changed? Has it been kind of a toxic environment? Yes. Do I think it's going to get better? I don't know, but I'm hopeful. I feel like if I try to think positively and I keep my mind on the main thing, which is coming in and doing what I can during the time that I'm there and doing the best I can during the time that I'm there, and then separating and going home and being a mom and a wife and Rachel and taking time for myself, then that's what I need to do. But I think the grind, teachers kill themselves mentality that we've had for a really long time because it's best for the kids is not what's best for the teachers. And we need to do what's best for the teachers so we can give what's best for the kids. And I think that's the best way for us to make this sustainable. I don't think it's going to be easy. I'm prepared that we're going to have more challenges coming up this year. I think we're going to have short staff. I think classes are going to be larger. I think more than ever, we're going to have to recognize our boundaries, and we're going to have to stand up for ourselves. But I'm looking forward to it too. I think we're in the second year of everybody being back in the classroom. I think the kids are going to be more in the hang of it than last year. I am positive, I'm hopeful that this is going to be a good year. And I recommend, like I said, I really feel for those teachers who've left, those teachers on Teacher Quit Talk, like totally respect where they're coming from. But I encourage you not to watch a lot of that, because when we focus on a lot of the negative, it can bring us down and make us negative. I think those videos aren't for us right now. I don't think they're for the teachers going into the field. I don't think for the teachers who are trying to stay in the field. I think those videos are for politicians and administrators. And you don't need to be watching them, at least consuming them heavily like I was, because that drains you. And if you have made that commitment to stay and stick it out, then you need to try to focus yourself around some education. You need to focus yourself around some educators who are really trying to push through and do our movement from the inside, from staying here and being here for our kids, because that's what they need. So hopefully, hopefully this video is helpful. Don't quit. You got this. You're meant for this. But don't forget, you got boundaries. You're a human being first, and Sometimes your best is just showing up to work and doing your job. You know, do above and beyond when you can. So I'm just going to leave it at that. Thank you so much for watching my video, and I will catch you. Oh, I almost forgot. If you like this video, like, subscribe, and share it out. And of course, if you made it this far, please comment down below an educator that you follow maybe on social media who really is upbeat and can help renew your fire for education. I want to spread that so that we can bring some positivity and get it started out for a great year. So thank you, and I will catch you in the next one.
Could have slept here for days.